Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Drink Some Tea with your girl Chrissy. We're getting ready to shake the fear with my boy. Can't wait. Sit back and relax and enjoy the listen.
Yeah, sick. Drink some tea with Chrissy, yeah. Yeah, drink some tea with Chrissy, sick. Yeah, drink some tea with Chrissy, yeah. Drink some tea with Chrissy, drink some tea with Chrissy, yeah. Drink some tea with Chrissy, yeah.
Today we are addressing the topic of fear. My guest host for today is my brother for forever. Mr. Can't Wait. I've known him since I was like 12 years old, so I'm super excited and honored that he decided today that he would hop on here with me. So today we're going to just talk about what makes you afraid, what you scared for.
Man,
and
I appreciate you for having me on this. It's awesome because you have always been a person who has had a big voice, you know, and a short body, but you've always voiced your opinion, your concerns, and so now having a platform in this generation, this era, you know, to see you have your platform, it's an honor to be here with you, like for real.
Man,
and it has been forever. Your mama is my mama, your grams is my grams.
Definitely.
So I'm a non-official rose, but
non-official. I think it's been pretty official. Been pretty official.
So yeah, and fear is a serious topic.
A serious topic, especially in our community and in our age group. I kind of think that we always got to be tough. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We always got to put that persona on that we're not afraid of anything. But even doing this right here is conquering a fear. Right. Because as big as my voice is, I didn't think people wanted to hear it. Right. So I kept it bundled up a lot. And now I don't care. I mean, I don't care if one person listens to it. You know, it's just like I'm going to say what I have to say and it'll reach somebody. Right. So what is something or what is a fear that you recently tackled?
That I tackled?
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, let me just say I face fear every day. Mm-hmm. I am a very scary person, to be honest, to just put it out there. Yeah, you know, I was angry a lot when I was younger. I would fight quick when I was younger. I got a very quick mouth when I'm pressed. My temper is very short at times. But at the same time, there's a lot of fear that goes behind that. Mm-hmm. So every day I'm facing a fear. The most recent that I've conquered, honestly, recently was not giving up my public speaking platform. Like you said, when you decide that you no longer want to be quiet and you want to share and you want to speak, and you know you begin to do it and you put yourself out there and you make yourself vulnerable and you grind and you work and you keep getting these hurdles. I'm gonna say reminders, but these hurdles that not only stop you, but sort of cripple you at the same time. And I'm not just talking about like, you know, money. Like money is always...
Money makes the world go round, really. It
does.
Really does, yeah.
It does, but I think we put too much value on money. Because if you think about those who have pioneered almost anything on this platform in the world, it started with them just having an idea and then putting it into work. And so for me, one of those fears is actually like even talking about money was a fear. Yeah. Because I grew up poor. So, you know, Social Security check from my mom, beans and rice, cornbread, that's what it was. No extracurricular activities.
Tea and bread.
You know, and that was it. When you got sick, you didn't go to the doctor, you got medicine. So just the fear of just stepping out and doing something for the first time. And so having done that, I've been speaking publicly. I've been telling my story since 2009. I've been speaking publicly since 2012. I've been doing it professionally as a speaker, actually calling myself that, believing that since 2014.
Was that a fear?
Yes.
Calling yourself a speaker?
Yes. Yes, because I still wanted to be that quiet, misunderstood kid. Because there's a comfort in being quiet. There's a comfort in...
And no one knowing you.
And no one knowing. They say ignorance is bliss. There is bliss in ignorance.
Yeah, definitely.
So I did that, and so I started putting out these workshops on helping people shake the fear of public speaking. When I did it on my own, I had met great feedback. You know, it was like 5-6 people, and when you do what you love, you don't care who shows up. But 5 or 6 people showed up, and I decided to start doing it at the college. Switch up my flow, grow a little bit, spread the wings, leap. I leaped, and it was in the books that went out in the mail. It was on the website, and it was dope to see my name. So you just hit the floor running. But I did it in spring and summer. No, spring and summer with only like the average 2 signups, and with KCC, you have to have a certain number. I didn't have that number, so they had to cancel the class. Wasn't getting speaking engagements, wasn't being asked to do anything. Things were working in our community, Kankakee, with the youth. Nobody has called me. Nobody was asking for me. Nobody was looking for me. I'm celebrating everyone doing their thing, getting opportunities, but me. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go back to work, work a midnight shift, and just take care of my family because I can't do it. And just reminders, people coming up asking me about it. People I didn't know following me on social media would say certain things, and my wife was pushing me, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do one more. And I did one recently at the end of August, and I was like, I'm gonna get 10 people. I ended up getting 4, and I was like, let's go. I got 40%. Let's go. I could, I felt pumped because the feedback I got, because I had developed over that time from first doing it. My surveys that I gave out and got back gave me that confirmation that I was getting better. And so that was
did you feel relatable?
Yes.
And what made you feel relatable in that?
Really, when I did a pre-survey and a post-survey. In the pre-survey, I asked, what is your experience of public speaking? Are you afraid? It's real simple. What is a scale from 1 to 5? 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. How afraid are you of public speaking? And then I asked, are you afraid to speak in public, or are you afraid to speak intimately, going to interviews or talking to someone you don't know? Because some people could talk to everybody, but they can't, like how we're talking across the table. Many people can't even, they can't do that.
I think it's a confidence level. It's a confidence level, and not only that, it's a self-esteem thing. I know for me, with every job interview I've had, I get sick to my stomach. I call my mama, I'm like, Mom, I can't do this, and she's like, okay, whatever, bye. You got this girl, click, and I realize it's because I didn't have the confidence in myself. But then when people hear me speak, they be like, I love talking to you. And I'm like, me? And it's because I had lack of confidence in who I was.
Well, let me ask you, for you, why did you not feel you had the confidence versus now where even though we're in this room, it's me and you, we got the recorder going, but millions can hear this?
2 reasons. One, I come from a pretty big family. And I feel like everybody's voice was bigger than mine. And they'll probably tell you that's not the truth, but I felt like they were more important. And not because it was shown that they were more important, but I just admired them more than I admired myself. So I didn't have the self-esteem that they had, and they were confident. Like if you see Kyle can go anywhere. I think I was a little more sheltered. So I feel like even though my voice was big, I didn't have that confidence. It wasn't because anybody didn't do it. And so even with this podcast, I'm telling you, when I wrote that status and was like, mind you, I had just made that flyer that day. Hannah helped me upstairs. She was like, dope. Here you go. And I wrote it, and I'm like, I literally felt sick to my stomach. I'm like, nobody cares about my voice. I'm not very well liked, not because I'm into drama or anything. I'm just not a likable person to a lot of people. I think I'm too direct, too assertive. People say bossy, I say assertive, And when I did it, I think I got 11 shares, and I didn't care if I got 1, I was still going to do it. You know what I mean? Because when you tell yourself that you're not going to do something because of somebody else, you're living in the opinion of people, and you will always be an inmate to yourself with that. I can no longer do that. So I think 30 hits real different.
It does. 30
it hits real different. I talk a lot about being 30, but I'm telling you, where I was 10 years ago, being pregnant, scared, living with my mom, Troy went off to school again. I had nothing. I had no motivation other than to be a mother. So now I'm finding myself, and it's like, you're pretty dope. You know what I mean? So I don't care if nobody else don't like me. I'm cool with me. So that was the biggest fear for me right now, is just having people hear my voice. And I mean, you speak public, and I'm just like, okay, that's just what you do. But for me, I was like, it's not my thing. You're well liked. You can share it, and people just like this, and this, and you'll see 2 likes on my thing. You know what I mean? And then social media also warps how you think about yourself.
Facts.
You know what I mean? It really does warp. We're living in a day and age where if your status is not popping, then you're not popular. Thankfully,
but that's like you said. As I'm studying my craft as a public speaker, people will say, "You're a motivational speaker." I do motivational speaking, but I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm more. I got a good friend, Reggie Bates, in the city of Chicago that I've worked with. Met each other in a program called Brother to Brother. Saab, his was called something different at NIU. And he calls himself a motivational artist. So I gotta coin it, give it back to the founder. But I'm a motivational artist because I also can tell stories, having the experience of working in the library for so long, enjoying
and just
life
experience,
and just narrating. I love to facilitate. But when it comes to public speaking, that itself is a misunderstood. It's too broad. We don't generalize it. Me and you having this dialogue right now that can go out to the world is a form of public speaking.
Yeah.
It's sharing what we feel out loud. And you said the number one fear that we have, and I read in the most recent in a book I read, a TED Talk book, and it spoke about how the opinions of other people is what keeps us afraid, either to speak up, to say, hey, I'm hurting, or hey, this is happening to me. We're afraid how the other person will perceive it, will treat us, and it's bigger than that. It's like you just said, your family.
Yeah.
You know, you said, hey, you 10 years ago, you were in your 20s, you were pregnant, you guys was married at the time. He was off to school. There are many people whose mothers would not have allowed them to come home just because they felt, okay, by the way that their values or whatever, you broke that value, so therefore my opinion of you now changes.
Yeah.
So that's why you have people who have these kids and they're suffering because people's opinions are beating them up beside the head versus just living unapologetic. And like you said, at 30, it's like, you know what? I do get tired as hell sometimes, and I'm okay to say that out loud. You know,
man.
And we're the middle children. Like J. Cole said, we're in the middle. We're mentors because we're in the middle now. Yeah. But we're still babies because we just started to learn
and just started to live.
Just started to live.
I think people feel like living is doing what you. Living now is basically turning up on a 24 basis. You know what I mean? Like living is what you have. Right, and I don't have much, but the stuff I do have is valuable.
Right.
And so I think for me, I'm starting to go out now, like just by myself. Like I come to the library and read a book. I'll be going for like 2-3 hours. Yeah. And I'm getting looked at like, you used to be in the house, and it's just like I'm starting to like my own company.
Right.
I don't have to be around a person to feel valuable. Right, and I think that was a fear of mine of not being liked. You know what I mean? That's another fear of mine, not being liked. It was a fear of mine. And I don't understand why it bothered me so much to not be liked. Yeah. But then now I'm not for everybody. You know what I mean? I'm not for everybody. Right. And the people who are for me, they know and love me just the way I am.
Right. And I think it comes to either we had a moment in our lives or we were taught a certain way. You know, much respect to my mom, make sure rest in peace. But she was a very religious woman growing up, and in her thought process, anything about self was bad. Self, like anything selfless was bad. So even to say self-esteem was like, okay, I'm too focused about myself. I should be worried about other people. But then as I got older, I started realizing like, well, I'm giving myself over here. I'm giving myself over here. I'm giving myself over here. When I finally got enough of it, I became toxic. Yeah. Because now it's like, okay, since I know this is going to happen, I'm going to prepare myself not to give you anything, and I'm going to take all that I can. Yeah. You know, so then it became this fear of, well, I'm going to do this to not feel that pain. Yeah. And so, again, there's that rejection. I was adopted. So subconsciously, you know, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm Kent. But it's like deep down inside, there was that little boy in me that still wanted that place. Yeah. Where do I fit in? And it took me getting older to really talk to my mom and have real dialogue, both mother, adopted and birth mother, and my father, and just having these dialogues with them and mentors and just being in spaces where it was okay for me to say, I feel this way. Especially as a man, we're not
just a man, a black man. It's like we can't express ourselves. You know what I mean? We can't, I feel like black women, if we express ourselves, we're too angry. And black men, if you express yourselves, you're considered weak. And I feel like that type of misconception in our community is why we have so many broken homes. Yes. Because you can't be vulnerable with me, and I can't be angry with you because you take it as I'm disliking you, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm frustrated because I don't feel connected. Facts. I think that's the fear in our homes, even with marriages. Black marriages, that's a fear of mine. It was a fear of not being understood by the person that I was married to. Right. It's like, and I think people feel like, oh, well, you've been together long enough, you should get each other. That's not the truth. Because we still hold on to some type of fear that we haven't dealt with from however many years ago. And that's what's like, it's fear literally cripples anything from growing. it is the death or killer of growth. I just feel that so strongly.